Sonoma County. Thank you for tuning back into our channel and welcome again. Today we are going to talk about some really fun small town charm in the northernmost area of Sonoma County, a little town called Cloverdale. What even is happening in Cloverdale? Is it somewhere you would want to live? Is there enough happening to make it kind of a fun area? Where is it and adjacent to everywhere else, and what's the benefit? We're going to dive into all the information about Cloverdale, California, but first, I'm Morgan DeVincenzi with Sullivan Group Real Estate, and we help people move into, out of, and all around Sonoma County every year. So if you are thinking of making a move, looking for a small town feel or a big city feel, and Sonoma County is overall your destination, reach out. We'd love to find you the perfect spot and fine-tune that move for a smooth process and welcome you to Sonoma County officially. If you are interested in more information about Sonoma County, absolutely hit subscribe, tap that bell because you'll be notified when we release more information about all things Sonoma County. Like this video and comment below. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see, more information about Cloverdale, more information about some of the other cities, maybe some restaurant reviews. Let us know. We are happy to provide. We want to be your local resource here in Sonoma County. Let's do this. All right, so let's talk Cloverdale, California. Cloverdale is the northernmost and westernmost city in the greater North Bay area, as well as the northernmost city in Sonoma County itself. So it is all the way up above, go all the way up 101 through Sonoma County. We've shown you in past videos from San Francisco. You go through Marin County, takes you straight up into Sonoma County. You'll hit Petaluma, Santa Rosa, Windsor. You keep going north, and the last stop before you leave Sonoma County is the darling town of Cloverdale. It's about 33 miles from Cloverdale to Santa Rosa and about 80 miles from Cloverdale to San Francisco. So we don't usually say Cloverdale is the most ideal location for commuting to the Central Bay Area, San Francisco, Oakland, so on. It is, of course, doable on, those rare occasions if maybe you work remotely primarily, which is actually interesting because Cloverdale has a higher average work from home rate than most other areas across the country. In fact, over 11% of the population in Cloverdale works remotely from home. And they probably choose Cloverdale for exactly that reason. They can be in their quiet little area, quiet little town, and enjoy their small town feel while still making the big city money, if you know what I mean. So in Cloverdale, there's a good mix of kind of white collar and blue collar. There's a lot of farms, there's a lot of agriculture, and then a lot of the occupations, the main occupations are healthcare, managerial positions, and administrative positions. So there's a nice kind of mix of all the different fields. Overall, Cloverdale has about 9,000 residents in the town of Cloverdale, so definitely one of the smaller cities compared to Sonoma. That's about 10 to 12. Some of the other cities are definitely quadrupled, if not more. So tiny little city, really nice feels, but you'll really enjoy it. You drive into Cloverdale and there's like oak-studded roads and rolling hills of vineyards and little farms, scattered throughout the outskirts of town, and then in town is just the cutest feel. So let's talk about really what the vibe is when you're living in Cloverdale and kind of what you can expect in that downtown area. The vibe in Cloverdale is laid back for sure. It is a little bit slower, a little bit more low-key, definitely laid back. The downtown area is adorable. You got Main Street with all these eclectic shops, there's restaurants, there's coffee shops, a little bit of everything, art galleries, and then the actual downtown plaza is this cobblestone centered plaza in the middle of town where it really brings the whole community together. The entire community is enjoying events and community opportunities to come out and spend time together all year long in this one little downtown area. A few examples of some of the events that go on in this downtown area are Tuesday night farmers markets, usually from about April when the weather gets a little bit warmer to about September before the weather starts getting a little cooler. Every Tuesday afternoon into the evening, the farmers come out, they bring their local produce, there's food trucks, there's pop-up shops, there's little art pop-ups, usually some little kids activities, often beer and wine, and it's just kind of a fun little small town farmers market, and it goes into the evening and people really enjoy coming together as a community. The next one happens all summer long and really kind of kicks it up a notch. This is something you definitely want to go check out, whether you end up living in Cloverdale or you choose another area in Sonoma County, but maybe just want a fun Friday night. So every Friday night from June through August, Cloverdale does the Friday Night Live series, and they shut down the main downtown plaza and the streets, and they have bands from across the United States come out. They have a huge concert. There's food trucks, there's outdoor dining from the different restaurants around the plaza, there's beer and wine, there's all these fun things to do. And people stay out all night. There's kids activities, there's face painting and kids crafts, and there's, little pop-up boutiques and shops and things like that. So it's just a blast to plan your Friday afternoon, evening, get there early because it does get a little packed, and really kind of enjoy a fun night in your own little town. You don't have to leave Cloverdale, and you can just kind of scurry on home afterward, hopefully driving safe still. Leading into the downtown Cloverdale area and for the 9 miles south, there is the 9 Mile Sculpture Trail as well. Cloverdale's really proud of its performing arts and the sculpture arts, and they actually have a 9 Mile sculpture trail. Wow, that's really hard to say that 10 times fast. Sculpture trail that leads from Geyserville, which is another tiny little town just south of Cloverdale, all the way into Cloverdale, and they have rotating different sculptures on this beautiful trail leading right into Cloverdale. Usually about 12 different local sculptors rotate their art throughout the year. So every year you can go back and go through this 9 Mile trail, and you'll have different, really unique, beautiful, interesting art to observe. And Cloverdale's really, really proud of that. So is Cloverdale family friendly? Cloverdale is actually rated 45% more safe than most other cities across the United States. So I'd say you probably have pretty good odds of raising a family there and not having too much mischief or, public safety issues or things like that. The schools in Cloverdale are actually known to be very collaborative with the community and have a lot of parent support within the schools. There's about 1,400 students in the Cloverdale School District, and there's only 3 schools because it's such a small town. There's 1 elementary school, 1 middle school, and 1 high school. And so it kind of really brings the town together because everybody's funneling their kids into the same schools, so they want the best for their students. I tried to look up some of the school ratings on those school rating websites, and not just for Cloverdale, but for plenty of our other cities, they're a little bit hit or miss because I'm not quite sure where they're getting all of their information. So it kind of showed that the Cloverdale schools were average-ish, but from our personal experience, as well as plenty of our clients and friends that have chosen to live in Cloverdale and put their kids through those schools, they've been really happy with it. They've really enjoyed the community aspect of it. They've had, all the extracurriculars at the schools, and their kids have grown up and done just fine. So I would say overall, it's not something to be overly alarmed about as far as the schools in Cloverdale go. I wanted to touch on a few favorite spots as far as places to go to eat or have a little drink in Cloverdale. It is a small town, but it's got some really, really fun places. They got a little bit of everything, so you're gonna have your Mexican place, your Italian food, your burger joint, you're gonna have a coffee shop, you're gonna have everything you need. But I thought it would be kind of fun to share some of my personal favorites. I don't live in Cloverdale, but sometimes my husband and I, we venture up there and we can't help but go grab a burger, go have a drink, go enjoy our time, because because they got some great spots. So first and foremost, if it's morning time or even lunch, because they're open through lunch and they have a bunch of good food, is Plank's Coffee. This is right in the downtown area. Great little spot, locally owned, and you're gonna find amazing fresh made coffees, breakfast foods, and then they have great salads and sandwiches and things like that. They got some outdoor seating, and it's really a nice place to go, enjoy the fresh air, enjoy Cloverdale, and have a great little meal. Okay, so the next little spot is definitely a little different, and it's definitely one of my favorite spots in Cloverdale for sure. If you've never been there and you've frequented the Cloverdale area, put this on your list on your next visit. It's not in the downtown area. I want to say it's kind of more on the outskirts of town. You can correct me if I'm wrong, northwest outskirts of town. Anywho, it is the Hamburger Ranch and Barbecue spot. It is like walking into the old time hamburger ranch, quite literally. It's kind of like a little back in time, a little nostalgic feeling, and they make all their own barbecue sauces and dressings, and if you're looking for a really good burger, fries, they got salads, they got all the stuff. This is a great place to go. Very casual, very kids friendly, and it's actually kind of a Kansas style barbecue, so it's not gonna be your typical burger joint that, you know, any little place you can grab a burger. So it's got a little unique flavor to it, and it is so good. So last but not least, we've had, you know, breakfast or lunch at Plank's. We've gone to Hamburger Ranch for maybe dinner. I think we need to have a little libation in the evening to close out the day, and we highly recommend the Sawmill. The Sawmill is in the downtown area again, and it is kind of a classy neighborhood bar. The bartenders are super friendly. The vibe is so welcoming, and as is really anywhere in Cloverdale. They're just this very welcoming community. And it's kind of your standard bar, but they got everything locally owned. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong on this one too, I believe there's a couple rooms upstairs that you can actually like Airbnb or rent hotel-wise or something along those lines. You may want to look that up, or I can put it in the comments below, and be able to stay right there and just wander upstairs if you want to check out the area without quite committing to Cloverdale. But the Sawmill's fun, it's a good time, gets a little wild at night, some dancing, some music, some drinks, and that can actually make a really fun Cloverdale day if you're enjoying the downtown area and taking in the scenes. All right, what to do outdoors in Cloverdale. So first and foremost, there is Lake Sonoma just 10 minutes away. This is a huge lake in Sonoma County here that has been known for all sorts of outdoors activities and definitely is popular in the summer times. One of the most popular areas of Lake Sonoma is Yorty Creek. It's a recreational area right next to the lake itself, so you can bring your picnic, you can barbecue, there's barbecues, you can bring your horseshoes, you can do all sorts of fun little activities there and kind of make a day of it and play on the beach, go out in the water and enjoy that. Or if you got a boat, there's plenty of launch ramps to drop your boat and cruise on the lake and make some friends on the lake and really enjoy a fun day. And that is just 10 minutes from Cloverdale. So that offers a ton of fun year-round. Next is a little bit different and a little more wild. We got NorCal skydiving right in Cloverdale. So if you want a different viewpoint on Sonoma County to find your next house, you can go up to NorCal skydiving and literally jump out of a plane to catch the views of where you might want to live next. It's very unique. It's right in Cloverdale, locally owned. It's been there for years. And it's a little bit different because like if you're going to skydive and you bring, you know, your spouse or your friends or your family, they can actually go through the process of getting ready with you and kind of be in it and really see it. And then you get on the plane yourself and they don't go on the plane with you and you have to jump by yourself. That's kind of the thing. Well, actually you tandem jump, I think the first however many times with the instructor and whatnot. But it is cool that you don't have to go and do the whole thing completely by yourself. You can have your family and friends there as you're getting ready to go and learning the proper methods and stuff. So a little bit different that way. And then lastly, there is Cloverdale River Park, excuse me. This is a really fun outdoor area, beautiful views. There's a 1-mile hiking trail, there's a picnic area, and it is really well known for some wildlife and wildflowers and birding, actually, if you're into kind of catching the different birds and being able to snap some pictures or log them down. This is a great little Cloverdale River Park is a great little area for that. Annual events in Cloverdale. For such a little town, they do have a couple pretty big events that draw people from all over the county and beyond. First and foremost is the Cloverdale Citrus Fair. This is in February, I believe late February every year, and it is everything and more that you would expect from a small town fair. You got your carnival rides, you got your music, you got some entertainment, you got food trucks and vendors and all sorts of fun. You got the 4-H shows where kids are showing their, show animals. It's a really great time. You have the Cloverdale Citrus Fair Queen pageant, and then for adults there's some cooking demonstrations, there's beer and wine tastings, and there's actually a cabaret show that they do every year, which I hear is pretty good. I have not made it to the cabaret portion of the evening yet in my experience, but I've heard it's a pretty good time. So the Cloverdale Citrus Fair is definitely a fun one to check out. And then in September, their second annual event is the Cloverdale Car and Motorcycle Show. This has been going on for 28 years now. I believe 2023 will be their 29th year, if I'm remembering correctly. And this pulls out about 250 classic cars and souped up vehicles and show motorcycles, and they take over. There's, food, there's vendors, there's souvenirs, there's music, and it's just a whole day, a really festive time, and Cloverdale really shows up for their local events. All right, last but not least, we have to talk about housing in Cloverdale, right? So what are you going to expect in Cloverdale? Well, first and foremost, if you're looking and browsing online on the home search websites and you're kind of like, why are these homes a little cheaper? It's because they are. It's not so bad. So the overall median home price in Sonoma County for your average single family home is $750, mid 700s at the moment. Well, Cloverdale, the median home price there is about $650. So you're saving about $100,000 on a very equivalent home just by, popping up the freeway another 20 to 30 miles from some of the other more central cities in Sonoma County. So there's definitely that draw, a little more bang for your buck there. A unique factor that Cloverdale has is a community called Clover Springs. This is a 55 and up community, and it is a Del Webb community, which is definitely very popular and definitely very sought after for those looking for a 55 and over community. There's 362 homes on 175 acres. These homes were built up between about 1997 and 2000. All of them, and so most of the homes are relatively newer. They have more modern layouts, they're in great condition. A lot of them have decent backyards to very spacious backyards. Some of them have close to a third of an acre, I think. So those of you that like to garden or enjoy and entertain outside, there's those properties there for you as well. Clover Springs has a central clubhouse called Fireside Lodge. It's 6,200 square feet, and it's got billiards and art rooms and TVs and a library. It has art studios to rent with kilns. I mean, it's got a little bit of everything in there. And then outdoors, you have a pool and spa, you got tennis courts, you got bocce ball, you got picnic and barbecue areas, and you're really gonna have kind of your own little mini town feel in Clover Springs for this 55 and over community inside the, slightly larger town of Cloverdale. So it's really cool. It's a really wonderful area. We've been seeing a lot of multi-generational moves where, the younger family with the parents or the grandparents all kind of make a move together. Well, this is definitely a way where the grandparents can kind of have their own comfortable home, and then maybe the kids and the grandkids can buy their home in Cloverdale and kind of be close enough together to support the family unit, So outside of Clover Springs, there are quite a few different types of properties in Cloverdale. We have properties that are, more rural farm style properties, because it's definitely a little bit more rural farm down neighborhood or city. And then as you get a little bit closer to downtown, you do have some of those cookie cutter subdivisions. Those were probably built up in and around the 90s as well. A relatively newer city because it's a little bit on the outskirts of town that people didn't start moving out there for a little while. And then as you get closer to downtown, there's actually some really beautiful historic homes in the downtown area, these huge Victorians and things like that. So definitely a lot to choose from depending on what you want. And then across the board, those price points are going to be a little bit lower. So if you're looking for your cookie cutter home, 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, something along those lines, you're probably going to be paying close to $650 as opposed to $750 in more central Sonoma County. If you're looking for acreage, maybe you want a couple of acres, you want to get some goats, whatever your Sonoma County dreams are, little hobby vineyard, something like that, you're definitely going to pay a lot less for that land than you would in maybe Petaluma or Santa Rosa or some of the other more central locations. There's a lot going on in Cloverdale and a lot of reasons to definitely live there. If you feel like this is a good area, all of this sounds like something you could be totally interested in, we'd be happy to provide more information about the Cloverdale properties for sale and what to maybe expect in a move into Cloverdale. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed all this information about Cloverdale, California, and this unique little town in the northernmost area of Sonoma County. So if this was helpful, click like, drop a comment of what we covered, maybe something that we missed. If you've been to Cloverdale and you have a good recommendation, we'd love to hear it as well. And if you are thinking of making a move, whether it's Cloverdale or one of our other cities, we'd be happy to talk you through that. So tap the bell to be notified on our next videos to be released, and click subscribe so you don't miss anything, and we look forward to helping you in your next upcoming Sonoma County move. Thank you so much for tuning in.